Hello out there, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at this terrific Arrow video release in 4K of Pitch Black, starring Vin Diesel, and of course directed by David Twohy. David Twohy, incidentally, is one of these writers and directors who I have a lot of respect for. He, of course, wrote The Fugitive. I believe he wrote Warlock, a Julian Sands B-horror movie from 1990. He was also involved, of course, in the subsequent Riddick sequels, Chronicles of Riddick and then Riddick, which were both good. Although I think that as far as a standalone film goes, Pitch Black is arguably the best of the bunch. It's certainly standalone, lean and mean telling of a classic science fiction story. I really enjoy the film. I find that it works on pretty much every level, has a terrific production value for a relatively low budget, and features some great character actors alongside, of course, Vin Diesel. Cole Hauser, his dad, of course, Wings Hauser, was in a bunch of 70s exploitation, 80s exploitation films. I've got nothing but positive things to say about this film. Remember seeing it in theaters and being impressed, and Arrow Video has given it the requisite care and attention on this release. It looks and sounds terrific. Now, the release also comes with a booklet, which of course has some essays and production notes, and the supplemental features on this disc are particularly interesting. I always enjoyed the look of the film, and there's a fair amount of detail that is sort of fleshed out by an interview with David Egby, I believe, who is the cinematographer on the film. This film was shot in Australia, and David Egby, of course, lensed the original Mad Max, among other films. The creature design is also a standout. I've always enjoyed, looking back at some of these late 90s, early aughts science fiction horror films, and with some measure of, I suppose, trepidation given how much better the CGI is now. And take for example The Mist. The CGI in that film is not particularly good, but it was reflective of the abilities at that time. Similarly with this film, what I liked about it is that they used CGI just enough to give you a sense as to what these creatures were like without showing too much and becoming a bit of a hindrance later down the road. I think the effect work stands up. Yes, there may be a moment or two where it's clear that today's technology could have done this or that scene better, but on balance, I think they struck a fine balance between showing just enough without showing you too much, and in turn taking you out of the film. So again, the supplementals on this, I don't want to name them all off, but there's just some terrific material in there, including a great introductory supplement with the director David Twohy, where he talks about writing this film, getting it on board and making it happen, and some interesting anecdotes are shared by him, namely that apparently the studios wanted a big name action star, and David Twohy apparently said no way when the named action star was pushed. He had no interest, and of course you wonder who that person is. I suspect it may have been Bruce Willis, but it's hard to say, because of course he had just come off of a very successful turn in The Fifth Element, and was still doing a fair amount of work during the mid to late 90s. But in any case, Pitch Black, Arrow Video 4K, definitely shelf worthy and really holds up. I enjoy going back to this periodically, and I'm always struck by how damn entertaining it is. So on that note, please do take care out there, everyone. Until that next time, whenever it shall be, stay safe, be kind, and keep watching cinema.